Hi everyone, welcome to episode 10 of Cheltenham Chat. Episode 10 and still no bets. And no apology for no bets. Quite frankly, if they'd had been bets, they would be looking probably at being poor ones. Regularly I bet out of a bank of £400 on the Cheltenham Festival, and for 5 years I've made a profit. This year it seems to be incredibly hard. To find value, to find bets, the bookmakers are so defensive. William Hill have gone non-runner, no bet, and I am scouring their markets for value. And I will talk about a few horses I've looked at to bet with them. With the non-runner concession, if the price is nearly about, then you're looking at having a chance, because if the horse runs a poor prep race, you're probably not going to run. You're going to get your money back. If it runs a good prep race, they're going to cut it. And so I'm looking for horses like that. And I'll go through that at the end. Firstly, I'll go through all the runners for the past week, my thoughts on them, and how I think they fit into the jigsaw. And it is just a jigsaw, but it's really difficult. And if you start for each race by putting one piece of the jigsaw in the wrong place, it's a very difficult jigsaw from there on in. You can put up a lot of bets. It only needs one good one to strike. Like last season, the Nice Guy was one of only 3 Ante post bets for the festival that we put up. One of the other bets was good as well. Tell Me Something Gal for the mares, but she fell. But in other seasons, I've put up a lot of Ante post bets and ended up with a lot of non-runners. So we'll go through last week. We'll go through the ones I've looked at William Hill, who I've thought maybe are value in the non-runner, no bet market. New Year's Day at Cheltenham's the first port of call. We've all been caught. Was a good winner and does look a good horse for the Twiston Davis yard. He impressed me quite a bit in this win. He's a resolute stayer. You need one of those for the Albert Bartlett. There are a lot of horses who may defect into this division. There are a lot of horses maybe still to run that we haven't seen yet. But We've All Been Caught isn't the worst outsider in the world. He stayed on well in this race. He was eye-catching in his first race. And Twiston Davis will have him primed for the festival because they love a winner at Cheltenham and especially at the festival. In the Dipper, the Real Whacker jumped really well. And a lot of the time experts are saying this was a really good time. I think he's a horse that just shows you how, with really good measured jumping, you can get a lot of horses into trouble and you can really improve from what you've done over hurdles. I've never been a fan of Mon Moral, although I do wonder, has he been just ripened for a run at a handicap at the festival like the Plate? But the Real Whacker was good in winning this. It was a good win. Whether he's quite up to winning a novice chase at the festival like the Brown or the Turners, I'm not so sure. Marie's Rock won Mare's Hurdle last season, and a lot of people thought she was perhaps a little bit lucky. I certainly felt so, because I felt Tell Me Something Girl would have won if she hadn't been brought down. A lot of people on Mrs. Milner would also say Marie's Rock was a bit lucky, but this was another good win for her, and she's rightfully favourite now, but it's looking like it could be a hot division. I'll have to talk about Love Envoy later. I still like Epatante. I thought her win in the Aintree Hurdle against Sana here was a really good run. And she's been facing Constitution Hill this season, which is no easy feat. So the British are going to have 3 really solid runners in Mare's Hurdle. And the Irish are playing a little bit of catch-up with Queensbrook not looking so good. She wears it well, looked good, but in a bigger field where she has to jump better, could catch her out. And we haven't seen Brandy Love yet. So a great win by Marie's Rock and the rightful favourite probably after this victory. On the same day over in Ireland, I thought Statler got a really, really poor ride to be beaten by Manila Indo. But he was giving weight, so it was still a good run. I'm not really sure what Townend was doing. I thought he was trying to just sneak a win, and then all of a sudden giving up the inside to Manila Indos cost him the race. A good run by both. Manila Indos being first and second in a gold cap and can never be written off. I thought this was a good run by Startler. A lot of people are putting him up as the HY value. We don't know if Galopin Deschamps will truly stay. Startler will, that's for sure. And he's not really a bad bet at 10-1 for the gold cap. Same day, Scarlet and Dav won a mare's chase, beating Dolcita. And this is what I've been saying about Allegory Devasi. People saying she's a monster. She's beaten 4 novices, whereas Scarlet and Dav is mixing it with the Dolcitas, with the Ellie Mays, etc. of this world, was second last year. And it's 3 times the price still. I think that's wrong. I'm not saying I would back Scarlet and Dav, but this was definitely a good performance. And I think she's been written off a bit early. And I'm wondering if the Mullins horse is a little bit short for this, in real truth. James de Burley on the same card was really impressive. But like a lot of the Mullins novice chasers coming out at the moment, they really aren't beating much. And it's hard to assess their performances, like Dysart Dynamo, like El Fabiolo, like Appreciate It. What are they beating? Horses are not wanting to get close to them. They're out for handicap marks. They don't want to get close to a possible Arkle or Turner's horse, so they're letting them go out in front. They're getting freebies. It's easy to jump well when you're under no pressure. And so a lot of these horses have to go up in grade before we can tell how good they are. 2 notable performances at Sandown, of course. I just talked about Love Envoy. She was very good in her victory. Now, she was 1-3, and the winning distance is probably exaggerated by the softening ground at Sandown, but it was still a very impressive performance. She's only been beaten once in second, behind Marie's Rock. She'd have a great chance in the Mayor's Hurdle, and like I say, it now looks like Britain are going to have a very strong hand in that race at the moment. She was very good, and she's hard to knock. Her form's there for all to see. She's won a Mayor's Novice at Cheltenham, and she's certainly going to be right up there come March. Tamures of Paul Nicholls, I don't think got the credit he deserved. It's a difficult decision whether to go against Facile Vega. If you want to put a bet on this horse, you're betting against a 5-6 favourite who's won the bumper last season. I think Tamures looked a good horse. 12-1 I think is quite big. This was a decent performance. Good field. The Henry de Bromhead horse ran an absolute shocker in this race, but it was still a decent race. I think he's been a little bit overlooked. 12-1 is a decent price. The problem is you are looking to really take on a Mullins hot pot if you want to back him. And each way, when you know you're going to lose your win stake, isn't really appealing to me. You've got to think you can win. I'm not really sure I think he can win, but I still think he's a bit big. So, difficult choice to make there. You don't want to be backing a horse you don't think can win just because you think it'll place, but I think his form's right up there amongst the others in the Supreme Market. On to Sunday, and I've had no bets this season, and thankfully so, because Tell Me Something Girl was really one I thought about for the Mare's Chase, and she has jumped deplorably and still won. Clearly, she has an engine, a really big engine, an engine big enough to win a Mare's Chase. Sadly, her jumping is nowhere near the quality to win any sort of big chase. She must have made at least 4 errors, backed off at least 3 fences, and she still managed to win. But she'll never win a graded race jumping like this. She has to improve. I think she may go back to the Mayor's Hurdle. I really was never really sure about this horse going over fences, but then I'd been told she'd schooled brilliantly. And I thought, well, she must have a chance in the Mayor's Chase, because if she can jump, she's got the engine. But she can't jump. And everyone talks about the de Bromhead horses are always brilliant jumpers. Well, this is one that is not, and this was a really shoddy display of jumping. And to be quite truthful, she must have an incredible engine to win, making those amount of mistakes. The problem with going back over hurdles is she's going to balloon all the hurdles because she's used to jumping far higher now. She'd have to get at least one run over hurdles before she could go back to a mare's hurdle, and she's been trained for chasing. I wouldn't like her for a mare's hurdle now because they have to change everything they're doing with her at a late stage in the game, really. So for me, that would have been a losing bet had I put her up for the mare's chase. I don't think she can win a mare's chase. Like I say, she has the engine, but she certainly doesn't have the jumping skills. Appreciate it was a really good winner, but what did he beat, really, considering that his main rival in the betting fell and was fatally injured in Top Bandit, and he's just been allowed a schooling session, really, to go round on his own. I would hope that he does go to the Arkle. Everyone's saying that he's going to go to the Turners. I would hope that would be maybe James de Burley that went there. But who knows where the Mullins lottery, where any of these horses will go. I certainly thought this was a good performance from Appreciate It. Liked it a lot. The Lawlers in Nass was a glorified flat race with 4 of the hurdles out. Really disappointing. Hard to evaluate a race like this. The winner, the connection said he would have appreciated the hurdles in. The second, they said that they would have appreciated the hurdles in. It was quite deep ground. Champ Kylie was a good winner. Now, I am starting to watch these Mullins favourites who drift. And I tweeted just before this race that this looked like it was going to be Champ Kylie's race because the betting suggested that Grangeclair West was not going to win. In saying that, I thought Grangeclair West cruised into this race, and I think something went wrong with the horse because he stayed on so strongly over 2 miles 4 last time out. He's just fallen in it. He looked legless and he was hanging quite badly to his left, and I think something went wrong with Grangeclair West. Champ Kylie's won. I don't really know what to make of the form. I wouldn't back any of them for the Ballymore at the moment. I think the form might be a little bit suspect. It certainly looks good for Marine Nationale. And the other horse that's probably getting well handicapped, who was in around that form, was Ashro Diamond. So all in all, it was a sort of muddling day at Nass. I was really looking forward to it. I was looking forward to getting a lot of clues. I really thought Grangeclair West would run a better race, but the betting suggested he wasn't going to win. And like the other 2 that I've highlighted this season, Chapeau de Soleil and Palmerian, as soon as they start that drift, they don't seem to run their race. So finally today I'm going to get onto those horses who I looked at on the William Hill once they were non-runner, no bet. None of these are bets, but they're horses I've had a few quid on and I've looked at, and I did look up for the non-runner, no bet angle. First of those, I'll go in race order, and the first of them was in the National Hunt Chase on Rob Millie's. I quite fancy this horse if it goes to the National Hunt Chase. And it's generally available at 16s. And I did think if I could get 12 to 1 on the non-runner, no bet market, I would have a swing at that. But sadly, only 8 to 1. And 8 to 1, would I get 8 to 1 Ramillies on the day? Maybe not. It depends if Gallard Duminil switches. I wouldn't say you'd get much less than 6s. And you know, you're going to be in a fight to get your money back. And so at 8 to 1, it wasn't a bet for me. I was hoping to get 12s. I would have played at 12s, non-runner, no bet on that horse. The second horse I looked at in that markets was obviously Chapeau de Soleil, and I did have a little swing at the 7 to 1 non-runner, no bet, because this horse will run again. I'm fairly confident that we'll see a big swing in his performance, and that he could be like a 3 to 1, sort of 7 to 2 chance for the champion bumper if he runs and wins next time out. I'm not convinced about his first run at all. I think there was a lot of factors in that, and I feel he's still a big player in this market. So I did take the 7s, non-runner, no bet, rather than the 8s, which is, Ante post. That was the second one I looked at. I've had a few quid on in a few different places on this horse as well. But none of these are bets for the videos, although I have thought about this one long and hard, and I do quite fancy this one, and it's in the per temps, and a lot of people, I saw someone tip it up yesterday on Cheltenham shows in the handicap part of it, and it's one that I've been watching for a while, and I sadly had to step in because I thought, well, other people have seen it now, and it's not one of the big guns either. It's Nicky Henderson's Captain Morgs. And William Hill had this horse at 20-1, non-runner, no bet. So I thought, well, if it goes here, it's not going to be 20-1, not the way it won last time out. It's already qualified. It's up to 141, but I thought its last win was really impressive. I liked it a lot. I was quite impressed. And I was sort of thinking, oh, I wonder if they'll go another one run, and then maybe this horse could be, an outsider for the Stayers hurdle. But then now I've looked and I've seen 141. I'm thinking, well, I think they're just holding on to his handicap mark now. I'd be really upset if I ended up getting Nico de Boinville on this. I would really be hopeful I'd get James Bowen. I thought he rode the horse really well at Cheltenham when it won, produced it really well, and I thought it powered up the hill. I was really impressed with this horse over 3 miles. I thought he was improved bundles for the extra distance, and I think this horse is way better than a 20-1 shot for the per temp. So I took a little bit of the 20s anti-post, and I had a little bit as well in a few of the shops with my mates, just at the 20s, non-runner, no bet. And I think in hindsight, I probably should have put it up as a bet, but with only one bookmaker, non-runner, no bet, it wouldn't take a lot of money and the price would go really fast. In fact, just with a few bets that maybe others have watched the video by Cheltenham and other people have backed the horse as well, but I've put a few quid on and the price actually moved today to 16. So it won't take a lot to move these markets. I would suggest that if you have a horse that you fancy for a race and the price isn't that much different because William Hill haven't noticed it, then I'll be backing it with William Hill, non-runner, no bet, rather than anti-post, because we still are 2 months out and it's very difficult to find horses that are definitely going to run. But if you're getting a bit of value and you know that you're going to get your money back should they not run, then it's certainly worth going through those markets. That was the 3 that I looked at for these markets. There are 3 that I've looked at, backed a little bit, but I'd go in heavier if I had the option of getting my money back, because I think all 3 are reasonable bets. But I've said that about Tell Me Something Girl for the Mare's Chase, and she's not even going to run. And others, Epitant's a bigger price than she was for the Mare's Hurdle when I suggested that I was chipping away at her. And I still am. I'm chipping away at Florian Porter, and he's a bigger price as well for the Stayers than he was. So as you can see, keeping my powder dry has been quite useful. I do find that, like in the final 4 weeks, once we got non-runner, no bet, I do tend to do better. I was fortunate enough to back the Nice Guy in the 3 bets anti-post last season. We found a Nice Guy, and even though he drifted out to 18-1, getting 14-1 on a horse like that, who other people hadn't noticed at the time, and by the end of the season everyone was raving about the Nice Guy, but they weren't raving about the Nice Guy before the Albert Bartlett, and that's the ones that we're looking to try and back in these videos. So no bets, and no excuses for no bets either. Finally, just to say that I am going to take part with Under Starters Orders podcast. They're having a little bit of a anti-post challenge between all the big anti-post guys like the Finishing Line and all the other big ones. And they've invited a few of the smaller ones like myself on as well. So I'll give that a go. I'll probably embarrass myself. But I'll give it a shot because it's for charity and I'll do my best. And I hope that some of my viewers will watch that. The bar stewards are on it. Only Fools and horses. I can't remember all the people that are on it, but it is going to be quite a show, and there's absolutely very little chance I'll win, but I'll give it a go for charity. So anyway, thanks for watching today. I'll be back with episode 11 next week. And like I say, have a look at the William Hill market, see if there's a horse that you like, and if it's not too far away from the price of an anti-post price, you may want to get involved. I wouldn't be going telling your mates until you've got your own money on though. So thanks for watching. Bye for now. Have a great week. Bye.